Hello, I am Hatrix, and I'm just gonna chill and go over the new changes for Season 9 in Ascension. The new season is coming out in 1 week, and they did announce some pretty huge changes coming with Ascension. I am just gonna do this in one take, see how it goes. Wanting to do more content for Ascension now that there's such a big season coming and with such a good amount of new changes. Also gonna try to cover them, so if you're interested in all of the good stuff with Season 9, maybe consider subscribing. Alright, so this video I'm gonna talk about the change of talent in Season 9, and the biggest one, and this is gonna be both fucking nice but also really bad for some players, because talents are gonna be random if you haven't seen the release trailer. So what does this mean? It means if you want to be a fire mage and if you want ignite, well, now you have to roll ignite on your character. So no more just getting to level 10, level 15 and picking ignite. Now you actually have to roll it. So if you're gonna plan to play a fire build, well, then and you have to make a good fire build, you have to actually roll ignite. So the ceiling for good builds versus not so good builds is gonna be very high, because, well, you didn't get ignite or you didn't get critical mass, well, your fire build is not looking that good now. Also, like firepower. So in this video I'm just gonna go over some of my thoughts. What builds are this gonna impact, and what builds is just gonna be not that impacted, I guess. So one of the obvious notes is the crit notes. All specs, caster specs, basically have them, and they changed this, so now it's 200%. So they don't have much power, but if you're like a crit based build, and most caster builds are, these are just like a nice to have power. You don't need these for any of your builds. I mean, fire mages probably really wants them, but besides that, it's not really mandatory. So this is one bucket I separated the new changes for, that if you have a build based on you want this, it's not really needed. And I want to list some of the things. If you're a healer, divine intellect is just pure healing power, so you get more healing power. It's not really needed, doesn't define your build. If you don't have it, whatever, you're missing out like on 9 intellect of healing power. That is basically fine. The rise is just such a nice talent for casters, for healers, but it's just crit chance, so it's nice to have, it's not needed. One is the pet damage. If you're playing a pet build, there's not really any required talents from what I'm aware, but 25% damage is gonna make it or break it basically for pet build, so you really want this. But again, I'm gonna bucket it as it's not really needed. So pet builds, I guess you can enjoy, just play a build, get some random talents. But if you get like increased attack power, if you get crit chance, this one, you're gonna do more damage, but it's not like needed. Let me see, same goes for Hunter. In the ranged weapon specialization, like not having this is 6% less damage, and maybe more because of auto shots. I mean, you can play a Hunter without this, but you really want it for the damage. So again, some talents are not needed for some builds. Living Spirit, we have that in Restoration, I believe. Nope, Druid. I am slow in my head. Alright, Living Spirit. So it's just like pure spirit. If you're any spirit stacker, spirit caster, any healer, you really want this, but again, it's really not needed. Again, this is like the barrier between what is needed, what is not. If you're playing like chain lightning caster, you really want lightning mastery, lightning overload, but your build still works, and that is the big difference. Works. And it will work if you don't have these talent, but it will be such a big buff if you have them. But that said, now we're going to talk about what builds are not working if you don't get the right talents. What can you not like just play from the start as you normally could? The first one is sadly Maelstrom weapon. this breaks up a lot of builds. A lot of builds is just based around like casting free spells. Wait, where did they put it? Wait, I know they changed it up so it's early in the talent tree and not so late. Maybe this is broken. Am I this blind? You know what Maelstrom Weapon does. You can cast free fireballs, lightning bolts and such. But this you cannot just like access anymore. Same if you're like a hybrid stagger. This is again not needed, but you really want to have this for hybrids. Warriors. I don't think this what's it called, Dragon Warriors. But yeah, Taste for Blood. Well, before you had to try to get Overpower, there was a common ability. Well, now you need Taste of Blood for your Overpower Rend Mortal Strike build to work. So it's not gonna be that easy to build it. And the next one, this is gonna be rough for anyone gonna play a rogue at the start or cat build, because well, you cannot just pick up energy regen now from talents. So if you have an energy build, cat build, you really want to have some energy regen in order to the build for not for the build not to feel giga shit. And yeah, you cannot have that. Same goes for Fingers of Frost. If you're playing a Frost build, well, it's not like guaranteed you're getting Fingers of Frost or Brain Freeze. It's not that needed, but Fingers of Frost, well, it's not guaranteed. So even if you get the Aries for your talent points, even if you get the Aries, you will still need the talent point for it to even work, I believe. What else? Pain of Suffering. This is not that much big of a deal. Not much is playing Shadow Dot Refresh, but Pain of Suffering, if you want to play a Shadow Dot semi snapshot, well, you cannot always have this. Not that big of a deal. Shadow Bolt Caster, this is pretty big, like Everlasting Affliction. This one, for example, with the Corruption Refresh and Haunt. As for a lot of builds for Shadow Bolt and such, cannot just free refresh Corruption and even snapshotted Corruptions. And for majority of the players, this is a big one, but well, Righteous Vengeance is just a free big damage, but it's a big portion of Paladin's damage. Well, you cannot get this for free now, and especially Art of War. This is like there's a gap between these, but Art of War is a big one, I think. This one, and I'm not a Paladin player myself, that is one other where you play either the Exorcism or the other one. But this means that you cannot just freely, easily pick Paladin now. That's gonna be interesting. The last one I have to talk about to let you know, and when you pick a build, gearing your character, is Careful Aim. And I actually put this in the bucket with talents you need to have, basically, because you really want to have some mana to use your hunter shots. If you can't get that much mana back, and like in general get the hunter gear, get a lot of free intellect. So all of that intellect you get from your gear, if you don't have this, it's not worth that much. So hunters can still be playing like agility build and not having this, but the difference is gonna be huge, especially if you're gonna have hunter gear and not having intellect on them. Besides that, hunters are basically free to go, and that's probably you can probably notice that when people are building their character and how much hunters are gonna be there, because nothing is really needed for hunters. Like, all these things is very nice to have, quality of life, but nothing is needed. The same as Maelstrom Weapon builds, Paladin builds, Rogue builds. So I'm betting that is gonna be visible on the meta, at least for the first couple of weeks before people get the skill cards and such. But it's definitely nice that we now have something to grind forwards. Yeah. I think that is all I have to say about the talents. Like, right now we don't know everything about the changes and how the talents are looking afterwards, what new abilities are maybe coming in the talent system, and yeah, how even the talent thing is gonna play out in Season 9. But that is my take. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Are you a sad Paladin player? Are you a sad Maelstrom player? Maybe one last one, Hot Streak, Fire Mages. Yeah, well, that is in the bucket as well. I don't even know if Hot Streak maybe been put on top. Maybe they just remove it now so you don't get sad. Oh, right, it's the last one. I thought it was being like here. But yeah, if you want to play hot streak any fire build, well, you have to roll hot streak now. So yeah, that's I mean, we'll see how it goes. Just so people keep in mind when they're choosing their starter build that, well, you cannot get everything now. That is it. As I said, thanks for watching if you made it to the end, and subscribe if you want to see more. I think I'm gonna make more content for the upcoming Ascension season, and you definitely don't want to miss that. Yeah, thanks for watching.